What if diplomacy meant giving an opponent's creature a shiny upgrade, then legally requiring it to attack somebody else? Welcome to the Jank Command. This is Kros, Defense Contractor, a Bant political deck that distributes counters, goads upgraded creatures, and quietly builds its own unstoppable army while everyone else fights. At the beginning of our upkeep, Kros puts a shield counter on a creature an opponent controls. Whenever we place one or more counters on a creature we do not control, that creature becomes tapped and goaded until our next turn, and it gains trample. It must attack, cannot attack us if another choice exists, and becomes much harder to contain. We reward useful opposing creatures with counters, aim them at mutual threats, and preserve them with shield counters so they survive combat. The table receives real power, but we decide where the pressure goes. This is upper bracket 3, interactive and synergistic, without competitive tutors, early infinite combos, or premium fast mana. Orja of Advocist offers counters to opponents who agree not to attack us. Generous Patron places counters on creatures and draws cards when those creatures belong to opponents. Glunt distributes counters, cards, and treasure around the table. Guafa Hazed uses bribery counters to neutralize dangerous attackers while drawing their controller a card. Evolutionary Escalation gives counters to one of our creatures and one opposing creature every upkeep, triggering Kros repeatedly. Curse of Predation rewards anyone attacking the enchanted player. Duelist's Heritage grants double strike to any attacking creature, letting us influence combats without controlling the attacker. Broker's Ascendancy steadily grows our board. Evolution Sage proliferates whenever a land enters. Flux Channeler does it when we cast non-creature spells. Thrumming Bird and Grateful Apparition proliferate after connecting in combat, while Viral Drake repeats the effect for mana. Contagion Clasp begins with a counter and becomes another proliferate engine. Karn's Bastion performs the same job from a land slot. Tekuthel doubles our proliferate triggers. Hardened Scales adds another counter whenever one or more +1 counters go onto our creatures, and Branching Evolution doubles those counters. Deep Glow Skate doubles every counter on any number of our permanents. Resourceful Defense moves counters away from permanents that leave, protecting the investment. Incubation Druid and Gyre Sage turn counters into increasing amounts of mana. Kami of Whispered Hopes adds an extra counter and taps according to its power. Rishkar converts our counterbearing creatures into mana creatures. Everflowing Chalice and Astral Cornucopia both scale through charge counters and become much stronger when proliferated. Fathom Mage draws whenever it receives a +1 counter. Toothy grows whenever we draw and replaces itself with an enormous hand when it leaves. Bred for the Hunt rewards counterbearing creatures that hit opponents. Inspiring Call draws for each creature with a counter and grants Indestructible. Tezzeret's Gambit combines cards with another proliferate trigger. Herald of Secret Streams makes our creatures with +1 counters unblockable. Tuskguard Captain gives them trample, Abzan Falconer grants flying, and Skadewing Spy provides flying after we accumulate enough counters. Sword of Truth and Justice adds counters, proliferates, and protects its wielder from white and blue. Forgotten Ancient collects counters whenever any player casts a spell, then redistributes them during our upkeep. Managorga Hydra grows the same way and already has trample. Master Biomancer makes new creatures enter larger. Cathar's Crusade grows the entire team whenever another creature enters, rapidly turning utility creatures into finishers. Simic Ascendancy gains growth counters whenever our creatures receive +1 counters. At 20 growth counters, it wins during our upkeep. Deep Glow Skate, Branching Evolution, and repeated proliferate effects make that goal realistic. Fight Rigging hides a free spell and rewards us when a creature reaches 7 power. Swords to Plowshares, Path to Exile, Generous Gift, and Beast within answer threats. Arcane Denial and Davin's Veto protect key turns. Heroic Intervention saves our board, while Ripples of Potential phases out counterbearing permanents and proliferates. Semester's End protects creatures and returns them with fresh counters. Austere Command is the flexible reset. 35 lands and 10 mana artifacts support 3 colors. Command Tower, Exotic Orchard, Tri-lands, Shock lands, and Pain lands stabilize the colors. Prairie Stream and Canopy Vista work with 18 basics. Nature's Lore can find several dual lands with forest types, while Cultivate and Kodama's Reach guarantee future land drops. Begin upkeep by placing Kros' shield counter on the most dangerous opposing creature. Evolutionary Escalation adds another counter elsewhere, tapping and goading that creature too. Cast a non-creature spell to trigger Flux Channeler, proliferating every useful counter. Attack safely while 2 upgraded enemy threats are forced towards someone else. Kros creates a strong value engine and manipulates combat, but the plan is visible and depends on creatures, counters, and a 4-mana commander. Board wipes, Solemnity-style effects, and removing Kros before counters are placed can disrupt it. There are no compact infinite combos or tutor chains, keeping the deck in upper bracket 3. Kros proves that the best defense contract is the one somebody else is forced to honor. The complete list will be available on Moxfield. Subscribe to the Jank Command for obscure commanders, strange synergies, and entirely responsible counter distribution.